Hi there, everybody. My name is Kate, and welcome to my channel. Trinergy awakens naturally, and it literally awakens quite naturally this morning. I woke up with something on my mind, chewing up stuff all night long, and I woke up with this download, so I wanted to share it with you before I forget, before I gotta go. So here we are, a la naturel. That the idea that everyone is chosen, that we're not all chosen. Pardon me. I have some issue with that because it sets people up to believe that they're not worthy or that they can never be a star seed, a light worker, an elect one, a chosen one, chosen people. You know, it sets up the whole dynamic of what is the old paradigm and the age of Pisces, where somebody is more important than someone else. And the way that I want to present this is that there are people who have very special jobs and missions on this planet, and they know who they are. And if they don't know who they are, they're probably very much in turmoil with themselves and their lives, because they know that something just isn't right, and and so there's some distinctive characteristics and patterns that happen. However, the deal with looking at oneself as I'm here to do my special work and I'm better than you is where I have a problem with it. It is not that I don't believe that we are chosen, so to speak, or we have missions to do, we're light workers, star seeds. However we identify that there's something here. I know I'm here for a very special job, and it isn't to, be standing around like a slob. It's not that, and yet when we take that too far into the I'm entitled to do something because, or we base it on some sort of spiritual foundation where, because you're not doing what I think you should based on my interpretation of what spiritual oneness is and divinity, and based through very specific paradigms, that I'm justified in calling judgment on you or calling for retribution and taking action against you because you're not behaving well. And that is simply an expression that that's not the downloads that I receive. Not like that, saying I'm walking karma. By virtue of the fact that we stand in the light and we are righteous and moving in that righteous decision making and very sacred decision making, no matter what the outcome is for other people, that is really what causes that karmic return or that karma to come about. That me standing in my light is like being a flashlight, being a big giant light bulb, a big old halogen light source that's basically shedding light on the darker spaces in other people when I'm healed and in that space. And divine people, I've not known anybody that didn't have what appeared to be some more ego work to do or shadow work to do, that had to announce their divinity or to say I'm chosen, I'm this, I'm that, while also simultaneously coupling it with and therefore I have the right to. That's no different than a president or a wannabe president, or dictators around the world, or dictators in our families, our jobs, our relationships, or anything, perpetrators. It's really no different, because it's that component of the ego not quite understanding that we are all here on the same team, if you will. That think of it like football. There's a star quarterback, perhaps. This is the key player, a pivotal player. However, the game would be worthless if there was no team, and if there was no audience, if there was no water boy, if there was no coach, if there were not all the positions, there wouldn't be any of it. It wouldn't matter. It'd be irrelevant. So this quarterback, when taken out of context, is going to be a useless endeavor. It's going to be a useless title if there's no game to be played. It's when he or she takes their identity of I'm the star quarterback into the whole world and wants to be treated as if they were the star player in every aspect of their life. And think of this metaphysically. I'm not talking about sports figures specifically, or how to treat them and all of that. It's just when we take ourselves into the world believing that we are the star quarterback and that we are the key pivotal player for the whole entire game, every single person, every single team member, we couldn't have the team working efficiently, effectively, and well if we didn't have a water boy, or we didn't have a coach, or we didn't have other players on the team. The linebackers are important. They're the ones that will work, I think, to protect the quarterback, the kicker. It's very specialized skills, and even though it can look out here like, the quarterback is the more important, or the whatever position it is, that's the most important, it bears more weight, deserves more money, deserves more, something, deserves to be treated better than the least valuable member of the team. And though the water boy can certainly be exchanged, far more easily than the quarterback, we're going to notice, if the quarterback leaves our team, and that's really their best seated right there, and they're doing their best work right there, the water boy probably is a skill that can be probably filled by, a more generic sampling of people. However, it doesn't mean that we don't need that position filled, and that it isn't critical to the overall function of the team. If the bus driver who's taking, or the pilot that's flying them, however they arrive, if the transportation person can't get the team there, then it doesn't matter how well any one of those people play, because they're not getting there. So think of it in terms of that, yes, we as elect ones, chosen people, God's people, indigos, light workers, rays of creation, star seeds, however we identify that, hey, I have a special mission here. Sorry about that. It is quite okay that we identify as, yeah, I have a very special work to do here. I have a special job, and I've got a special mission. And it's okay for me to identify that, yeah, I'm a pretty banging, quarterback. I do that pretty well. I'm one hell of a great quarterback. I do this really well. It's my skill, because I know that's my skill, and I'm demonstrating it. It's out here, winning the game. And yet, by turning away from the rest of the team, or saying there's rowdy fans out there, like, okay, there's rowdy fans out there, have them removed, they can't be doing that, or throwing stuff, rocks and bottles and stuff on the team players. We can't have that, so just have them removed. And security, they're not part of the team of active players, however, they're a vital part of the team of, yeah, you're what protects us. So you see how every single component of this is necessary, that's working for the team and is with the team. That means the rowdy fans, you gotta go. You can't be here being a threat to what we're doing here. If you think of this cosmically and metaphysically, I'm really not talking about literally. So thinking about it in those terms means that I really realistically, even though I know that my value may be perceived as more important, and it may be for, winning this game, a couple of things. First of all, that it's for this game, this sport, this, particular venue. However, when I go home, or I go to a basketball game, unless I'm also in the NBA and the NFL, then, sit down and be a fan, where that's really what I am. Or at home, I'm not the star quarterback at home, I'm something else. And being able to designate ourselves as, I'm always a quarterback. However, I operate in different places where it's not applicable. I'm not going to be tossing, a football, spiraling one down a field everywhere I go. With light seeds, light workers, and star seeds, we're more likely to be able to, cross-train and use our skills across the board. However, even we, there are certain things in divinity and divination, channeling, clairvoyance, working with energy, that I don't do. It's not my specialty. That's not what I do. And I couldn't possibly do it. And I don't want to turn away from the idea that I have gifts, and that I am, chosen, in that I have gifts, obviously. However, they're meant to do what I do, which is get in your football game there, Kate, and don't worry about the NBA, or don't worry about the basketball team, or the hockey team, or the, luge team, or whomever, or the figure skater. Do not worry about that, because there's no such thing as a completely independent sport. Even with the figure skater, it's a whole team effort. And so the idea is that in my specialty of me, when I'm someplace where, okay, I don't want to hang out in a place where fans are rowdy and they're just out of control, and, this is a sport I'm not into, then it's about me just going away and finding where I belong. That if I'd rather be watching, high school football, or playing, a pickup game. Do you play a pickup game of football? Playing a game, with some kids on the corner or something, that's where I can focus my attention, instead of wasting my time spitting on the NBA or the hockey, or individual skaters or something like that, believing that I'm better than them because I play football. I play my sport, I play it very well, and I'm really skilled in that. And I can bring a lot of good to the world. However, I'm not really bringing good to the world if I'm setting up that dynamic for other people who are already Rowdy fans or who aren't even on the team yet, and aspire to be. I'm not setting up a very good mentoring by showing them that really this is cutthroat and we absolutely do not like some, that you may not get on the team unless, that there's a lot of conditions. And we already have people that are walking around in guilt, shame, and just horrible, terrible dysfunction and toxicity from their whole life experience thus far, that it's not helpful and it doesn't serve to leave them, believing the worst about themselves. It's better, in my opinion, and in the downloads I get, to, dismiss that which is, Rowdy fan, no, that's not serviceable for being on the team or even being in the audience or the stands to support the team. You're just, murdering one another and stuff. No, we can't have that. That's got to go. And handle that with class and get it done quickly, and then, move on with the game. It's more important to move on with the game. We're prepping for the Super Bowl here. We don't need to worry about it because security's got that. And we also don't need to get on, Monday morning quarterback TV and start talking about, how horrible that was. We can use things as examples for how to learn, how to educate ourselves, use those for teaching episodes, but to get real deep into, they should have this, they should have that, and how dare they, and call judgment on them, it sets up too much of an example for people to lose their minds who are already not able to really discern. Some people, quite a number of people, aren't able to discern already the difference between team playing and, being an individualist who's going to get what I want. And when we set it up in the bigger and bigger and bigger hierarchies and structures by saying that the new earth includes some of that old stuff of I'm better than you because I'm chosen to be here to be a coach or to be, the star player, the star athlete, and you're just a water boy, or you're just some dumb fan that doesn't really understand and will never make the team anyway. When we start putting it into those contexts, there are too many weak-willed people who are too damaged and too unwilling to do their work that it's not going to help them believe anything more about themselves than that they need to continue being 555, the Rowdy fan, that the only way they're going to have some validity or the only way that they're going to have, any kind of name in the world or place in the world, that feeding that ego and that ego construct by saying, yeah, you're right, we're going to make a big deal of removing you from the stands, just remove you from the game. We don't have to pick you off and murder you, it doesn't have to go there right off the jump. We don't have to take you out like that. We can just ask you to leave and to keep stepping it at whatever level. However, we don't have to keep burning the idea that every single person, needs to be treated like they're just the devil and they're awful when they're not identifying as we are, or they're in their dark place. There's a lot of people that are, and we're not going to help them break out of that by continuing to identify, well, I'm the light, I'm the light. It triggers too hard people's insecurities, and man, people are already super, super insecure. So I like to do things in ways that make more sense to me, and that doesn't make sense to me to be triggering for other people in any way whatsoever. So I hope that that's been helpful for you, and maybe that gives you something to consider. And I hope you enjoy your day, whatever part of the day you're in. And remember, get within your skin, you quarterback, you star athlete, you chosen one, whatever you do. May you find beauty in everything you do and get within your skin, because you're divine. It is oh so beautiful, sacred, and absolutely fine, and doesn't need to compete with anybody. Just we know our worth, and we don't have to announce it. So take care of yourselves, as I said, and enjoy your day. I'll see you again next time, friends. Bye-bye.